So how old is the Howard?
The Howard Theater was built in 1910. It's 108 years old. It's the first major theater built for African American entertainment in the country, older than the Apollo by 25 years.
The theater had a tough time after the 80s, it closed.
Yeah.
Tell me about how you got involved.
I came to the Square Block in the capacity of being a commercial real estate developer, and next door we developed a mixed-use development where the United Negro College Fund sits now. And I saw the Howard broken down, and I said, you know, somebody's got to do something about this. And I actually got, you know, my business partners and others around the table, and I asked them if there's anybody interested, and they laughed me out of the boardroom. They said, look at that place. What are you going to do with this place? It's crazy. And so, you know, my partner and I, Malik Ellis, decided that we were going to take this on because we knew, one, the history was too important to lose.
And when you walked in here, what did this place look like?
It looked like somebody had set a bomb off in it. You know, we were very scared every time we came in here because we thought the roof was actually going to cave in on us because you could see through to the sky.
Were you able to save anything about the structure?
We were able to bring back the original 1910 facade, which you see today. Some of the columns that you see here. You see the outline of the balconies here, which we try to modernize.
What kind of events used to happen here?
A number of vaudeville type shows back then, and they would do Shakespearean plays. Yeah. The Howard University Howard players would come here and put on their Shakespearean costumes and put on Shakespearean plays. So there is a real connection though between the university and the theater because a lot of the students would patronize the theater.
What was one of the big innovations that happened here that showed up other places maybe?
Well, the Howard Theater was the first place to come up with the concept of amateur night. A gentleman by the name of Shep Allen was the general manager, and he came up with the concept. And Ella Fitzgerald actually won amateur night here first, and then she went up to the Apollo, and then they implemented the amateur night there and made it very famous.
And I saw out front you've got, I think it's Duke Ellington Way. Is that a kind of an homage to, like, how did that name show up?
Yeah, well, Duke Ellington was performed right next door to the Howard Theater. Right here was a pool hall. And his first performance, he was 13 years old, and he was playing piano in a trio. And so he got his start there and then came here obviously to really present big band jazz. And so because he's a native son of DC, the city decided that we should call this Ellington Plaza and Ellington Way.
1, 2, 3,
So that was the jazz era, and then we come into the 1960s, which is a hotbed of civil rights activism, and Howard University was a big part of the civil rights era.
It was. A lot of activists, obviously Stokely Carmichael and all kinds of activists would come here, and artists of the day would perform. You had James Brown, I'm Black and I'm Proud, with the Black Power movement, and so a lot of activists would come here not only to be entertained but also to learn.
Tell me about when James Brown came here.
James actually would tell the staff of the Howard Theater to go away, and he would bring in his own staff. He would even bring in his own box office person, and he would do shows morning, noon, and night.
The theater, after the 1960s, kind of started to have tough times.
It did. After the 68 riots, everything just went upside down here in the Shaw neighborhood.
There was one period, though, where you had an artist who came in here who really helped keep the Howard alive for a few years in the late 70s and 80s.
Yeah, early 80s, yes. It was Chuck Brown.
Chuck Brown.
Chuck Brown brought the go-go sound to the Howard Theater and to DC, and he performed here often in probably 80, 81.
When Chuck Brown died, the night that he died, I walked over here because there were, I don't know, a couple hundred people out in front of the Howard Theater, doors open, listening to the same go-go song on the same stations. Yeah. And basically a go-go broke out right in front of the streets.
One big party. It was a one big celebration of his life.
For a theater that lasted that long, you said from 1910 on, you probably had some pretty famous people who came through.
We did. There's been FDR, Eleanor Roosevelt has come through here. Abbott and Costello used to perform here back in the day.
That's funny.
Michelle Obama has been here twice since we reopened. Joe Biden has been here. That's some great rich history.